I feel like at a young age, we should not only hold against ourselves, but our parents to protect and to guide and to be able to be that, I want to say safe space. And I feel like I didn't have that. So yeah, I was molested by a very close family friend whose name I won't call because he's already dealing with his time. From the age of 5 until I was about 10. So yeah. This was something that was, unfortunately, it was something that was repeated too many times. And I feel like in order to protect the ones closest to me, I had to just deal with it in terms of being molested, being hurt, not being able to confide in the people at that age to basically protect me. I feel like at my current age, which is 28, and I've been modeling for 15 years. When I first came to this country, I feel like it was quite difficult being a model. It wasn't my career path in terms of what I wanted to do. Obviously, everyone knows that the industry is quite strict when it comes to your weight and how you look and just how you approach certain designers. And I feel like when I was signed to quite a major agency when I was 17, I was basically told that I'm too fat and that I need to lose weight. I even had castings to go to where it'd be super late and the designer would basically strip me, and not fully strip where I'm exposed, where my boobs are out or my parts are out exposed, but it's just very demeaning to know that I weighed 125 pounds at the time and you're telling me that I'm too fat. I was basically bones. So I feel like, yeah, being told that I was too big, even though I was too small, even though doctors was telling me I'm underweight, I'm way too underweight, I need to gain weight or else I'm gonna start getting sick. So I feel like being told that I was too small, I developed habits where I would probably eat like the smallest meal and that would be my one meal for the day. Or if I'm hungry, I'd eat something and then I'd basically like throw it up. It wasn't the proudest, how can I say, it wasn't my best moment because I was basically listening and taking in the feedback that what other people had to say about me rather than actually thinking for myself and caring about myself, to the point where I basically just started feeling sick. I wasn't feeling well. My head was always heavy. I was always fainting everywhere I go. I was always angry because my body wasn't getting the right nutrients that it needed to basically function. And yeah, I feel like that was probably one of the most difficult times during my adult stage or just during my finding my adult stage, where I was just being told that, oh, I'm not the right fit in a sense, or I'm just too fat when I'm skinny. I'm still very small. So yeah. I love my body. I'm not as small as I used to be. I'm still quite slim, but I love my body. I wouldn't fall back into that habit of where I would not eat or consider myself as too fat or just harm myself in a way where my body isn't getting the right amount of love that it deserves. So today I would say that I love my body. I really do. I'm beautiful. I love where my curves sit. I love how my thighs look. I love how my arms look, even though they're quite still slim. And I love my height as well. I wouldn't change it for anything. So my past experiences taught me that, for one, I would want every child out there in the world to speak to the right adult about the things that you're going through. Be very vocal, be very open about the things that are happening in your life, because having the right support at a very young age can fast track your journey in healing rather than delaying it. As well as being a model, I've been able to become a mentor to other models. So I have my own modeling agency today where our values align with having a safe space for models to be able to communicate about their feelings, to talk about their mental health, to reach out to me whenever they need to, even if they're on set and they're busy, and if they feel uncomfortable to call me. I'll be the person to stand up and say, hey, this is not right. I'm pulling my model. If you can't respect them, you're not respecting me, and you're not respecting my business. You're not respecting the brand and the name that I've developed. I feel like every model out there in the world should really truly just love their body, embody what they, not embody, but to appreciate the way that they're made to be, rather than to try and change, because changing for the convenience of other people doesn't actually satisfy your needs. I feel like models today should be very, very vocal and very strong-minded about the people who are approaching them. And I feel like, as well as if your agency is sending you to these people, you need to communicate with your agencies and let them know, hey, this is what's happening and I don't feel comfortable. This isn't right. Can you do something about it? Because at the end of the day, we're just freelancers. We can't necessarily run to, I think they call it union, and say, hey, we're being mistreated. We're freelancers. We have to look out for ourselves first before we look out for the agencies that we're signed to. So yeah, my mission in life at the moment is to become the better version of myself every day, as well as to make other people realize that they can be a better version of themselves as well. So yeah. Let's just say a person that I lost at one point in my life was myself. I feel like the loss, I might cry. I feel like
This is a safe space.
Just myself, really. I feel like when I decided to go back to school, because I've been modeling for so long, I decided to go back to school about 2.5 years ago. And this is where I continued my education in hotel management. And I had a full-time job. I had modeling full-time as well. So I was very much juggling everything, but everything was great before I decided to go back to school. I think the first year, I decided to quit the full-time job I was doing. Not quit, but I reduced it to part-time so I can manage my studies in between. And I feel like I made some good friends. I was playing netball. And then I started dating someone. And this was completely after I've healed from another relationship. Like, started dating someone and this person completely broke me. Completely broke me to the point where I forgot who I was. I stopped seeing my friends. I stopped going to netball. I wasn't motivated anymore. Honestly, I I started falling behind on my studies as well. It's just, I never knew that the amount of gaslighting, manipulation, lying, cheating, how much that could really take from a person. And I feel like I did everything I could to salvage the relationship because I thought about the potential it might have rather than thinking about the reality and what it's doing to me. I'm trying not to cry, but I'm actually shaking. But yeah, I completely lost myself. Like I stopped going to shoots. I stopped going to work. My education just completely declined, and I just didn't care anymore. Everything else became as if time was just moving extremely slow. I felt as if, I don't know, a part of me was just not present anymore. I'm still healing from that relationship. I'm starting to learn again, to relearn actually how to love myself. I started to focus on the things that I need for my future in terms of where I want to be career-wise, where I want to be health-wise, mental health-wise, where I want to be in terms of family-wise. I started refocusing on the things that do matter, and it's the people that I do have around me who still checks in on me and be like, hey, you okay? Hey, I haven't heard from you in a week. What's going on? Are you okay? Do you need me? I'm still baffled today that I allowed myself to go through the amount of manipulation that I went through, the amount of gaslighting that I went through, the amount of lies, the amount of cheating, the amount of everything, basically. Like, you never really truly understand how cruel people can be. Sometimes they don't even realize how cruel they're being, if that makes sense. Yeah, I just didn't feel like myself for those past 2 years. I didn't like how I look. I felt as if I was competing with everybody else when really truly I just wanted one person's attention. The goal was to, sorry, I didn't even mention this, but the goal that I was holding on to with this person was the goal of having a family, the goal of starting empire, which is like business-wise. We had amazing business plans together that we were acting on. We had ideas for the future, and it really and truly just aligned. But alignment with one other person doesn't necessarily mean that they will be there at the finish line. Maybe those are just the goals that I had for myself, and that person had those goals as well, and it was just similar. Doesn't necessarily mean that person was the right fit for me. Yeah, I will never allow myself to get, in a sense, not never allow myself. I feel like I don't want myself to get attached to someone on that level, which was so deep but very toxic, ever again. Yeah, the goal is to really and truly just focus on me right now, because really and truly I'm afraid to let anyone else in who can potentially cause that amount of damage